Now, the M6, when I used it, I thought the M6 was pretty good. Um, it's got the same... It's got the same sprightliness that the T1 has relative to a heavy tank. When I say sprightly, it's, you know, for a heavy tank. And it has decent armor. And... but the big improvement here is that you get this 90mm. And that's pretty much it. I think the T1 is meh. And I think the M6 is okay. I don't hate it. But the entire time I was playing these tanks, I just wanted to get to the T29. Because the T29 has frontal turret armor of 279. It has a super thick gun mantlet. It is awesome at doing hull down tactics where you only expose your turret. Shooting the front of the turret on this vehicle is pretty much a waste of time. And even if you fling high explosive at it, you might not accomplish that much because of the thick armor. And it gets pretty nice. Gets pretty nice 105mm. Hey, that looks familiar. That's basically the same gun that my T25 uses, only the matchmaking for the T29 is going to be more favorable. So you get that penetration in more favorable matchmaking because it's a tank and not a tank destroyer. And you give up fire rate and you give up some accuracy. But this is still a fantastic gun. And this is, for a tier 7, this is garbage. This is tolerable. But you really want this 105, I think. And this turret, this is the turret. This is the turret with the little boxy thing sticking out of it that just look awesome. Oh, and it also has really great view range. Yeah, much better. I like, on the T29, I like the binoculars and I like the coated optics. Because since you have high view range already, why not milk it for all it's worth and really extend it? And I think, I wanted to say, I did the math, and you can come close to the view cap with the coated optics and the binocular telescope. And if you take the new perks now they put in, you might... Oh, actually, you know, with the new perks, you might actually be able to hit the cap. I'm not sure. I'll have to further research that. But I love the T29. It was so good in beta. I loved it. And I want it again. That's pretty much all there is to it, and so I'm grinding my way to it. This time, though, I want to not have to deal with the stupid T1 and the M6. And the M4 I'm going to keep, and depending on how this thing goes, I have no experience yet with the Jumbo Sherman, but that turret armor looks awesome. That's better than the... That's a medium tank. Look at this. Look at this stupidness. Here's the turret for the... Here's the turret for the heavy tank. Compare that to the turret armor of the medium. Oh my god. What is going on here? What's the alternate turret have? Wow, the alternate turret gives up a lot of... Alright, so we're looking at the stock turret values right there. Well, the stock turret has a lot of armor up front. Jesus. That is the best hull-down tank in Tier 6, I think. Maybe, I don't know. But, how's the guns looking? Alright, well, that's good already. 105, always nice to have. And then you get this thing. Oh, meh, it's that thing. Meh. 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 I'll probably use the 105. Okay. That looks really good. That looks so much better than the M6. Alright, what happens here, though? It's like they have all this armor. Oh my god, that's heavy. Okay, they ditch the weight a lot, and you get more view range. Gonna be honest here. Looking at those values, I don't see why you would want that. I really want the, that 152 turret armor is sexy. Okay. Maybe this one has much better slope. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But my initial impression is that this turret is so much better. How heavy are you? 34 tons. How's your engine? 520. Alright, so it's not going to be bad. Yeah, this thing looks... And how's the hull armor? 101. How is the hull armor on the M6? What's your hull armor? 102. Okay. Yeah, I think the M6 looks like crap compared to the Germo Sherman already, just looking at these values here. Could play out differently in game. Could have different soft stats that are hidden. But still, I just think it looks much better. And I'll have a lot more fun grinding through it than the T1 and the M6. Alright, let's see. What's next? I think I've talked about everything in the American tree that I have experience with. I don't know anything about the British tree. Except that they have some neat looking tanks. And also that some of their tank destroyers... I think this thing. Oh, what do you have that owned me? Is it this thing? Something they had. Is this what I ran into? Or is this it? Oh man, the tortoise. Huh. No, I think it was this thing. I think it was the AT-7 with this autocannon here. Like, I didn't realize it had an autocannon, and it kind of... I was like, I'll get him when he reloads, but because of the autocannon, he had a shell ready right then, and I had a bad day. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know much about the British tanks other than some of them look cool, and some of them look kind of odd but neat. I like odd tanks. I like tanks like the World War II tanks are really cool because a lot of research was going on and a lot of experimentation. And you can see in the 50s and 60s tanks that the form of the modern tank was taking shape, and there's not too much crazy stuff. There's not any crazy stuff going on anymore, really. But in the 30s and 40s was just wild variation of like shapes of tanks, and I think it's awesome to see all the crazy designs. German tanks. There's the Lowell tractor. Don't know much about German artillery. Oh, I know one thing. I think the German artillery has bad ammo capacity compared to other nations. Okay, this thing is awesome. However, I think this thing is probably... What's your armor, buddy? Yeah, paper armor. Crappy armor. Never gonna bounce anything armor. So this thing used to be awesome, but I think the American Tier 2 tank destroyer has completely outclassed it because of the armor. This thing, though, is still stupidly accurate for a Tier 2 gun. I don't even know, like look at that accuracy. Look at that fire speed. That accuracy, the aim time. Oh, that's such a good gun. That is an amazing gun. Anyway, the Panzer one, while it has paper armor, is still great. Let's see. In the beta, I had up to a Jagdpanther, and the trees look weird now. The Martyr, it's okay. It has that going for it, that Tier 5 gun on a Tier 3 vehicle, so that's cool. The armor on it sucks, though. That's a big problem. Meh. Anyway, Hetzer. Hetzer's cool. Hetzer's gonna Hetz. Hetz. You're gonna go out and hit some people. Nice front sloped armor. It can actually bounce some stuff from time to time. Crappy armor everywhere else, and yeah. And I think the view range isn't so hot. Yeah, the view range sucks. On the Hetzer, you're definitely gonna want this thing right here, and you're gonna hit some people with it. And yeah, that's pretty much how that goes. All right, the Stug. Okay, so the Hetzer's adorable though. The Hetzer's kind of, if you play the Hetzer, you have to say at least once that Hetzer's gonna Hetz. So it was kind of a meme back in beta. It's just Hetzer players would communicate and just by typing Hetz to each other. Hetz, 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 Hetz. Hetzer's gonna Hetz. You're Hetzing over here. I'm gonna Hetz over here. You wanna Hetz with me? Okay, man, I'll Hetz with you. Oh, Hetz this guy, quick! That kind of thing. I don't know if people still do that, but that's what happened in beta. The Stug! Oh my god, it's a Stug! Das Stugen! The Stug is awesome. Because it's fast and maneuverable, and the frontal armor is pretty good. And it's got that 105 on it, which is fun. And it's got this thing, which is also very fun. And incredibly... Oh my god, look at that accuracy. Do you guys see that accuracy right there? Okay. So when you're playing the Stug, you're stugging it up, go with this thing. You want that thing, or you want this thing. That's what you want right there. Take your pick. Pick your flavor. You might want to keep both of them around and switch them out every time to just have a different playstyle. So, Stug is great. The Stug is like everything wrong. Like all the weak points of the Hetzer are fixed in the Stug. Alright, still the view range isn't that much, but it's better. You know, it's better. It's not, what was this, 260? Gah. You know. But the Stug is very quick and maneuverable, and it just handles very well. It's a fun tank to drive, and has nice gun options on it. Jagdpanzer IV. This thing, I don't really... It's got the same armor. And this is always a problem, I think. When something has the same armor, but it's a tier higher than what it came from, you're going to have a bad time. Like this at tier 5. That 80 millimeters of sloped armor on a tier 5 vehicle? Alright, you can work with that. Sure. Okay. 80 millimeters of armor on a tier 6 tank destroyer, and this sucker's going to probably be in tiers 6, 7, and 8. You gonna die. You gonna die horrible. Horrible, horrible death. But I think it's fast. 24, and what horsepower do you have? 440? Meh. Meh. I think the Stug handled better, if my memory serves me right. Gun. Meh. For a tier 6 tank destroyer, that penetration sucks. That's better though. I don't know if I would even switch to this. The 88. Because of the poor penetration qualities. I think I'd rather stick with the faster firing, more penetration of the of this gun here. I assume this is a Panzer cannon, model 1942. Yeah, I would go with the higher penetration one. Especially on a tier 6. You're going to be up against tier 7 and 8. I mean, you're going to look at me and tell me, "Oh, I'm going to shoot at an IS-3 with this gun?" Really? An IS-3? No. No. An IS? How about just an IS with this gun? Really? No. That's dumb. A T-29 with this gun? Really? From the front? Really? Okay. That's why I like going with this thing. You don't have to worry about that. It's just like, oh, what am I up against? It doesn't matter. I'll shoot it with this and do something to it. That's why I like high explosives. I've always liked the derp guns. So the Panzer IV, I don't remember it nearly as much as the Stug, and that's usually a sign that I wanted to grind through it to get to a next vehicle. Jagdpanther. Jagdpanther is... the armor is meh, but you don't buy this thing for the armor. Do you know what you buy this thing for? It's not this. It's this. This thing right here. Do you see that number right there? That .32 accuracy and that penetration? This thing is an amazing sniper. Very long range, very accurate at range. This is like a great sniping tank destroyer. And hey, you know what? If you want to fling some derp shells, some high explosive derp shells at somebody, That's not a bad cannon to do it with at all. Okay. But the long 88. No, 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 no. This one, the long 88 millimeter. This is a good gun. I can speak from experience on that. I never got to the Ferdinand, which is what I was grinding towards in beta on this thing. The wipe came before I could get to it, so I don't know much about the Ferdinand other than meh. I mean, back in beta, less people had higher tier vehicles, and this thing like would crush people. But from what I've seen on my T28, for one, that 200 millimeters of frontal armor nowadays is nothing special. If you're in a Ferdinand, I'm pretty sure you're going to get stuck with tier 9s and tier 10s, and they're going to bend you over and violate you. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. It's kind of like the vehicle's the same, but the people you play with have gotten high. There's now like high tier medium tanks. There's tier 10 medium tanks now. Like when I played, that didn't exist, you know. So the game has changed that way. So now a vehicle like this is relatively less attractive because a new tank's introduced, even though its stats may have stayed the same. Jagdtiger though is still good. Every time I see a Jagdtiger in a game, I never like. Yeah, that gun right there demands respect. That accuracy demands respect. That's even a good gun too, I think. Oh, that's an amazing gun. Nice view range actually. And decent armor, yeah. Up front. But I never made it to it, so that I'm speaking from experience, having seen and fought against these vehicles in games. And I don't know anything about the Jagdpanther 2. Alright, what else do we have in here? We've got some fast tanks. The Leopard I had in beta was fun. It is stupidly fast and is amazing at hunting down tank destroyers. Well, actually, yeah, getting behind tank destroyers and killing them, and then, but mostly SPGs. Oh, that's new. When I played, the Leopard was a dead end. Okay, let's see here. The Panzer IV is a fun tank. Lots of options on the guns. Nice, interesting turret, I think. This turret gives more HP. I remember that much. Tier 6 turret, kind of odd. But you can have a derp gun on it, like the Sherman can, so similar in performance there. I don't remember the armor. I think the problem here, where I prefer the Sherman over this tank, is that the Sherman's hull turret armor is better, and the turret is smaller. When you get this, I don't think this works with the 105, right? Yeah, okay, there's your problem. This turret doesn't work with the 105, and this is the small turret. This is the bigger turret for it, and it's not compatible. You have to use this turret for this gun. So the other guns are, that's not enough penetration. Nor is that. Okay, that's alright. Meh, it's okay too. Pretty sure you can use this with the, that's the L48. Kampfwagen cannon, model 1940, L48 is... Yeah, you can, okay. I'd almost recommend, if you're going to play it with this gun, use this turret for it. Because this turret is smaller than this one. This is a big turret. A big target, lightly armored, really crappy armor on that turret. So, it leads to... Well, I can't tell you anymore because the tech tree broke. You can see that when I played, Like, I've skipped what now is required to get to some of these tanks. So my tech tree is bonkers because I'm an old account. I'm old and crusty. Rah. I don't. Do I? Is that research for me? Oh, I guess it is. I honestly don't remember much about this. The 3601. Oh, that's nice armor though. Oh, wait a minute. I think the 3601 is a pretty decent vehicle. I think I remember this thing for having nice handling and good speed. And it mounts a derp gun, which I like. And that's a good gun too. That is... Wait a minute. Oh, that's one of those guns where they put in a smaller projectile in a bigger gun, and then they'll shoot it out of like a sabot, I think, is what that is. I think that's what that is. Yeah, great selections of guns on this vehicle. Yeah. And that leads to the Tiger 1. Personally, I think the Tiger 1 is not great, not because the tank is bad, but because of what it gets put against. That's the big problem with the Tiger 1. I mean, that's a fine gun, but it's just... and sounds weird, but the armor on the Tiger is crap relative to what it gets put against in this game. Historically, the Tiger 1 had amazing armor and was a big problem for the Allies in World War II. In this game, because the Tiger 1 gets stuck up against something like, oh, I don't know, an IS-3, it gets crapped on. So, yeah. Alright, let's see, what else? Oh, this thing. What was I doing on this thing? I don't even remember. I don't remember. I had this tank, and I can buy this tank, and I don't... They messed with the tank. I don't really remember anything about this tank, nor my time spent on it. Sorry, guys. I do remember this guy, though. Panther's a great tank, and the Panther is a great tank because it gets a derp gun if you want it. It's fast, it's maneuverable, armor's good, and you get this sexy thing. Look at this sexy gun! Look at the sexy gun! Look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. That is the L100. It is long, it is accurate, it has lots of penetration, it shoots fast. Oh god, look at that accuracy. Oh, wow. This is a sniper's tank. This is a sniper medium tank. That's what you want to do with this. It's quick, even without this engine in it, which apparently I never got to. You don't even really need it that much because it's only a 50 horsepower upgrade. I'm sure it's still helpful, but I never reached it. Oh, but this thing... Oh, and nowadays, it looks like it leads to the Tiger II. So, that's cool. And the Panther II. Also cool. But the Panther is great. I like it. The hull armor is kind of weak. So, I wouldn't trade hits with other vehicles. But that's why you have this gun right here. You're a sniper. So, I really like the Panther. And, you know, it really is this gun. This gun right here is the entire reason I love the Panther so much. So, there you go. That's just it's a unique gun. It's super accurate. It's very fun to snipe with. Okay, I think that wraps it up for my German experience here. I have a ton of games in the Panzer IV, by the way. Good tank, but nowadays I like the Sherman better. French tree. There's nothing remarkable about the low-tier French stuff. and I have no experience with the French artillery or their tank destroyers. I want to say their armor is better than average usually, and this thing right here is hilarious. And if you're going down the French tree, you ought to check this thing out and hold on to it. It has a crap load of armor for its tier, and it's very well sloped and angled, and you will get tons of bounces off this thing against tiers like tier 3 and 4 tanks shooting at you. You only really have to watch out for tank destroyers. Gun sucks though. Very mediocre gun. Accuracy sucks. Aim time not very good. Penetration meh. So what's this thing do? Oh wow, that thing's garbage too. Mediocre gun, but super tough armor. People call this the rubber ducky because of how it looks.